So, Ria on Gearheads is going to talk a little bit tonight about how the judging process works and sort of the interactions, the flow of information between the judges, how the awards get decided and ranked, and what that process is. Because it's a little bit mysterious if you haven't been around it, and maybe sometimes if you haven't volunteered as a judge, it's a little bit tough to get insights into. Okay.
All right, so we can get right into it. So here's a little diagram that kind of shows the flow of how judging goes into awards. So it starts with the judging interview. So this is typically earlier in the day in the qualifier. And you give them your portfolio, and then they ask you some questions. You give your presentation. And then after that, they do judging deliberations. So here's where they think about if you meet the award minimums, and they rank all the teams for each of the awards. And then after that is pit judging visits. So they judge the teams in a way that's organized by the different awards. And then they collect inputs from the pit interviews. And this goes into the final judging deliberations. And also what goes into that is overall judge observation. So they're looking at if your team is showing gracious professionalism and just behaving well in general. And then all of that goes into award selection at the end. Yeah, so some characteristics of the judging interview is that it's a room with 2 to 3 judges, and a maximum of 15 team members can be in there presenting. And then one coach or parent is allowed this year. And then you have a limit of 5 minutes for your presentation, and then there's an additional 10 minutes for questions, so 15 minutes total. And then some suggestions of what to bring in the room. We always bring our robot cart and robot, 2 to 3 presentation posters, and then our computer with a judging presentation. So it's just running when we go in, and then we kind of click through the slides as we go through our presentation. And then also our portfolio, so you hand that to the judges when you walk in. And so this diagram kind of shows we have our team kind of in a V shape, and then our robot cart is in front of us and the judges, and then we line up in order of speaking.
And I will emphasize just one point. Judges respond in different ways to the computer presentation, so you don't need to have that. The posters are fine. The posters have the advantage that there's no juggling around, there's no messing with presentations ready, and you can't come into the room and then have to set up a presentation on a computer. You've got to walk into the room with, if you're going to use a computer presentation, you've got to walk into the room with it running immediately ready to go. You can't pause, plug anything in, turn anything on. So just be cognizant of that. If you feel like the computer presentation is going to be if it's going to be a distraction, or if it's going to take any length of time to set up, the judges probably won't give you that time, and it may be better to just go with some posters. Okay.
All right, so some guidelines for the judging presentation is you should go in with organization. So outside of the room, you can line up in order of speaking so you don't kind of go in all at once, and that kind of looks more professional. You should also be polite and friendly. So when you walk in, you should say hello, smile, and then get into your formation. And then the first person who walks in should introduce the team and then give them the engineering portfolio and then ask them if it's okay to give the 5-minute presentation. Also, every person should speak on a different topic. So you should have a person speaking about the introduction, goals, robot innovation, and then an outreach project. And also, most people should talk. So you don't want to have one person speaking for the majority of the script. And if a lot of people talk, it kind of shows more teamwork on your team. Also, you should have professional body language. So this just means you should speak loudly and clearly. So make sure to project, and then also don't fidget, and make sure to look engaged. And also, you should have eye contact. And this can be kind of awkward for teams at times. So one tip is that if you want to look engaged and have eye contact, you can kind of look in the direction of the judges, and that kind of has the same effect. So some more guidelines for the question and answer portion afterwards is that it helps to have a team moderator because that helps with the flow of questions and it kind of reduces silences. So you kind of know who's going to start the question and give an overview and then direct that to a person who knows more specifics. And then every person should kind of master a certain topic for questions. So know what your niche is and your expertise so you know when to talk about that. And then try to have a variety of people who answer questions instead of just 1 or 2 people. And then also if someone misses something, you should jump in and say things like to add on to that or additionally. So, some behind the scenes things of how the judges determine awards is before judging, the judges have panel assignments. So, they try to get technical and non technical judges on each panel, and this is who you're going to be presenting your judging interview for in the morning. And they're also going to review the portfolios to get an idea of the team, who they are, what they do, and all that kind of stuff. And then during judging, the judges are going to conduct team interviews and take notes. And they kind of start to get an idea of where the teams are going to be nominated and what awards they qualify for. So then after judging, the judges are going to go to the deliberation rooms and then take notes on the judging summary and submit feedback forms for every team. And here's where they determine the teams that meet criteria. So a team can be nominated for every award that it qualifies for with the requirements, but there can be limits for awards. So a certain award might not be able to have more than 5 nominations. And after the initial nominations and rankings, the judges are going to be put in panels for different award tracks. So there's going to be technical judges put in a panel for a technical award, and then non-technical judges for a non-technical award. And here's where they go to pit judging, and then they review the portfolio, and they watch robot matches too. And then when all of this is done, the judges rank teams again, and they consider the interview process and the portfolio content. And this is where they finalize what teams are the top contenders and choose the award winners. So some more guidelines of what should be presented for pit judging is you should focus on describing and answering the question the judges are asking for. So this means that when the judges ask you a question, figure out what they're asking and then answer that before going more into detail. But you should definitely go in depth when you're at pit judging, and then go in depth of your robot and outreach events, because in the judging presentation you only have 5 minutes, but in pit judging you have as long as you need to explain what you need to. You should also tell the judges important numbers from outreach, so the number of hours, the number of people impacted in scope, and the robot as well, because that can catch their attention. And also, any materials like posters, images, and parts can aid your answer, so it's good to have those at the pit. Also, it's helpful to be hands-on with the robot as well, to kind of demonstrate what you're talking about. And also, so for some guidelines of who should be in the pit during pit judging, you shouldn't crowd the pit, and also stuff like a lot of talking, a lot of clutter and trash everywhere can kind of be intimidating, and that interferes with team scouting, and also it can kind of be overwhelming for pit judges. And then also, you shouldn't have more than 4 to 5 team members in the pit formally in every pit rotation. So during each pit rotation, you should have 1 to 2 team members who really understand the robot and programming aspect of the team and then the design process. And then 2 to 3 members who can describe each major wing of outreach. And this makes sure that there's at least 1 team member that can describe a topic in any award category, or at least give an overview. And then this is helpful to create pit rotations. So we do a pit schedule, and this kind of helps with, again, making sure there's at least 1 team member that can describe a topic in every category. And it might not always be possible, so if you have your drive team who knows a lot about mechanical and they could be queuing, just make sure that everyone has an overall basic understanding of everything. And it's okay to tell the judges, yeah, our team members who can talk more in depth about this are in queuing right now, and you can kind of redirect that from there.
Do you mind if I make a few additional comments on pit judging?
Nope.
Okay, good. So and I've been involved and have been judging for a good number of meets too. If you get the judges at your pit, as Rhea introduced, it's a really good sign, because it says after the interviews, they've selected you as someone that's in contention for these awards, and the pit judging is coming back and saying, hey, we want to learn more about this team so we can better place them in the awards. So it's good, and it's really important. And everything that Rhea's kind of pointing out here is to emphasize that your team's presentations at the pit, the pits are really, yes, it's a place to keep your robot and kind of a center for the team, but during the pit judging period, it's really a place where you can convey information to the judges. So it needs to be an environment that's a little bit organized, that you've got team members there who can cover most of the conversations, and that you've got a plan that when judges come around, you've got a way to go get additional team members if you need to. The judges' time is really limited. They're going to go back after the morning sessions. They'll have a couple hours to judge in the afternoon, and they're probably going to be trying to visit 8, 10, or 12 teams around a couple of awards. So if you're not at your pit and they can't find you, you're taking away from judging timing. Or if you don't have people there or a plan to get people there really quickly, you're taking away from your own judging timing. So be cognizant of that keeping organized around that, having some team members in there all the time that can start that conversation, and make sure that you can go get team members if the judges are asking a technical topic and your whole robot team is at a practice field, know where they are, make sure you have a way to get them back there quickly. Or even sometimes, you can be flexible with that. If the team is at the practice fields, you can let the judge, and they want to talk about the robot, let the judges know that the team's at the practice field and escort them over to the practice field. So I'm saying is just be professional about that and don't lose that time. Kind of the worst thing you can do is say, I'm sorry, we're here and there's nobody here right now and we're not ready to talk about it, because you may get kind of to the back of the list and get crowded in time when the judges come back around. Okay. All right, Rick.
All right, so some more pit judging stuff and how you should present. So make sure to be polite and professional. So introduce yourselves, you can greet the judges, and make sure that all the team members are engaged. So even if they're not speaking, they shouldn't be fidgeting or looking in other directions. So they should all be really engaged. And then also, immediately when the judges ask their first question, you can kind of get an idea of what's being judged. So since the awards are all in different judging panels, so you might get a group of judges that come for pit judging and they ask in a question about the robot, and the rest of the pit judging interview for them is all going to be about the robot. So you could have a team member then summon the team and then try to prioritize those with knowledge in what is being judged. And then after the question is answered, one or two team members can add additional information relating to the question or in similar areas. So you want to stay on the same topic that the judges are asking about, but just like the judging interview, you can add more things if they feel like they missed something. So also you should try to catch and keep the attention of judges. So you can drive the conversation if they're running out of questions to things that you want to talk about. You can list specific numbers because that catches their attention and it's important for your outreach and robot. And also, it can be partially team driven. So, after a question is answered, a team can ask, have you heard about this part of a robot or this outreach project, depending on the type of judge. So, you want to keep it on the same track they're asking about. All right, so for award selection, from the highest to lowest award, it goes Inspire, Think, Connect, Innovate, Control, Motivate, and Design. So the way this works is the judges review the ranking list during deliberations, which happens after the initial judging, after pit judging, and then before the award finalization. And teams can only win one judged award per competition. So you can't win Control and Motivate, you would just win one. And then if a team is top ranked for multiple awards, the judges will assign the highest award the team qualifies for. And then the team is then removed from the awards list to allow for more teams to be recognized. And then once all of those are chosen, the judges will decide on an Inspire Award winner. So teams have to be nominated for at least one team attribute award, so Think, Connect, or Motivate, and at least one robot inspired award, so that's Innovate, Control, and Design, to be eligible for the Inspire Award. So here's an example. So other than Inspire, the top award is Think. So if a team called Robo Titans was first place in that, then they would win that award, and then it would go to the next award, which is Connect. Since they won that one, they aren't allowed to be eligible for any other awards, so they wouldn't be eligible, and then Steel Phoenixes is next, so they would win that one. And then Innovate, Steel Phoenixes, and Robo Titans are both ineligible, so Quote Storm would win, and then for Control, Circuit Crusaders would win, and that's basically how that whole hierarchy works.
Yeah, and this is really important to understand. It can sometimes be kind of frustrating for teams. Hey, I thought we had some great innovation. Why weren't we first or second place on the Innovate Award? And it might be that you were, but you just placed in a higher order award. So, you didn't win the Innovate Award because you won the Think Award. So just keep in mind that's going on because just as Rhea mentioned, you're only going to win one judged award per qualifier event. So, and you don't get insights into this after the awards. You don't share the team rankings and what awards you were ranked for. You just are informed of what awards you were, potentially won and were second place at. So it's a little confusing, but you will win the highest award and then no other award that you were nominated for.
Mm-hmm. And then, so for a little description of every award, so the Think Award recognizes a team that best reflects the engineering design process, documenting its journey in problem solving in a detailed and organized engineering notebook. The Connect Award celebrates a team that connects with their local and engineering communities to expand their knowledge and foster innovation. The Motivate Award honors a team that embodies team spirit, inspires others, and spreads enthusiasm for STEM in creative ways. The Innovate Award acknowledges a team with a creative and unique robot design solution that best enhances their performance on the field. The Control Award rewards a team with exceptional control of their robot through sensors, software, and mechanical systems. And the Design Award highlights a team with an aesthetically and functionally superior robot design, emphasizing both form and innovation. So for a little diagram for award hierarchy, so there's design, control, and innovate, which are all in the category machine, creativity, and innovation, so MCI. And then connect and motivate are in the category team attributes. And then think is in its own category. And then inspire is being a top ranked team in all the different categories. So for some more about that, MCI awards recognize the technical accomplishments of the teams in the planning, design, construction, operation, and control of their robots. TA award recognize teams who have developed strong partnerships with their community, so recruiting members, raising funds, and then outreaching to spread first message about the benefits of STEM. And then Think Award recognizes teams who masterfully document their team's process and product using their portfolio and notebook. And the Inspire Award recognizes teams who excel in all these awards, so MCI, TA, and Think accomplishments. And this team would be an all-around inspiration for the others. And so for some additional resources and references, the FTC game manual is linked on this slide. And the slideshow will be sent back to all of you.
All right, good. And we'll share these slides and a quickly edited version of the video out by email tonight too, so folks can find them. But we'll pause here. We've got about 10 minutes left for any questions. I'll kind of rewind the slide deck to the beginning and anything that the teams would like to ask questions about or understand more of. For the gearheads here, anything that you think we missed in regards to judging, how that works?
One minor thing. I don't know if we covered it, but and I'm a bit unclear on this personally, but if you win first place for one award, that's like the highest award you can win. You can still qualify for second place for other awards, correct?
Yeah. I think there's the only exception around that, John, would be around the Inspire Award, where I think you can only rank an Inspire once per season. In other words, if you win the Inspire Award at one qualifier, that'll be the only time you win Inspire Award. And I don't think you can like place second either after that.
Yeah.
But yes, you can. I think you can win follow-up, runner-up, and another award for place. Yeah.
Oh, one thing I wanted to add. I'm not sure if we covered this while I was gone, but I wanted to add that it's really important to show gracious professionalism, even outside of the judging areas and outside of the pit, since there could be hidden judges watching you, and it's just the spirit of the competition to be gracious towards your own team members and towards other teams. So you shouldn't be like goofing off. Like I've seen some teams do it in the past, not naming anything, but you shouldn't be goofing off outside of the pit. The judges can see you, and it just puts a bad mark on the entire team.
Yeah, it's a really important point, Yuva. Positive, gracious professionalism, sharing parts, finding safety glasses for somebody, helping them solve a problem is very well noted. And judges will come back to the judging deliberation room and noted, hey, I saw these teams, doing this or helping another team. And just as Yuva mentioned on the other side too, not behaving in that way or, poking at somebody or just not being professional will come back as a negative thing too. It's not formally in any of the awards, but it's going to influence how the judges think about the team. And you really need the judges advocating for you, right? You've got a small number of people that you talk to that are advocating for your position on an award. So all the positive information you can get judges to bring back is important for sure.
And for the awards, if anyone was wondering, like how do you qualify for state at qualifiers through the awards? So it would be Inspire Award winners, and the winner of the robot games would qualify. And then this year, is it second place Inspire too? And then the Alliance?
So it's a good question, Rhea. So for qualifications for state, the smaller meets, teams, qualifiers with smaller number of teams will advance 2 teams to state. And just as Rhea mentioned, that is the Inspire Award winner and the winning Robot Alliance captain. If there are a larger number of teams, they may promote a third team from that qualifier to state. And the third qualifier spot goes to the alliance pick for the winning alliance. So the winning alliance captain picks a team, that team qualifies for state as well. Now that gets more complicated. If any of those teams have previously qualified for state, the awards start to flow down. So, as an example, if of those first three possibilities, one of those teams has already qualified for state, then the state qualification would go down to the second place Inspire winner. And there's a sequence of events that basically, you start to roll through, because a team that's previously qualified for state does not requalify, doesn't qualify again. That slot just kind of pushes down the award ranking. So
that award ranking is also, I believe, in the game manual for qualifications in the advancement section.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Also some of the larger qualifiers, they can advance 4, 5, or I've seen even 6 teams at some of these big ones. So
yeah, and they can flow down quite far later in the season. It gets a little complicated, but that's sometimes at the end of a qualifier, they will announce the positions, who won what awards in the qualifier, but they won't announce who goes to state, because they have to go back and double check who won what awards and make sure that's all correct. So,
and sometimes you may have to ask them too, because they forget for some of the qualifiers to mention who actually advances to state.
Yeah, or they may not know based on the information at hand yet. Yeah. Okay. Good. Anything else folks on the phone wanted to inquire about? You'll have to, everybody's muted, so you have to unmute if you want to. Nope. Okay. We'll wrap up the session there then. Rhea, thank you very much for preparing and presenting and reviewing with the team tonight. And we'll send the documentation out this evening. Take care. Have a good night, everyone.